you mentioned earlier the 2018 Game Awards moment, and as someone who had interviewed you several times before that, you're as dominant as a competitor you were back in 2016, 2017, 2018. You were fairly shy when we would sit you down in front of a camera with a big crew, and like I think it took you a little bit to kind of get comfortable in that zone. That 2018 Game Awards moment, clearly, like if you go back, I went back and watched it yesterday for this to prep for this interview, and like clearly you're very nervous, and like you can tell it's kind of coming off, but at the same time, what you said was like one, badass, and two, just like very like emotive, right? Like it's just very like you don't care. And I think that's one of the things that most people respect about you the most is like you are your true self, and you can either get on board with it or you can buzz off. And like that is an admirable trait.
That had to be learned, like I said, and like definitely like and I even during the like the game game of the year awards, like I felt like I was really confident about standing in front of crowds and everything, and then like you get up on that stage, you're like, oh shit, there's so many people in here, what the fuck? And I think that would like honestly that would catch anybody off guard. Like like I said, and prior to that, I've been through so many interviews. I stood in front of crowds before. It's never been a problem. But there, I've never stood in front of this many people on a stage before in my entire life. So and I was not ready. Yep. I did not have a speech prepared. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna be myself. If people don't like it, fuck off. Like that's not a problem.
Yep. Well, and you said in that speech, Barry, and I think you're right. You're right to recognize that that's the moment, the cultural touchstone moment for you. All of us in esports appreciated what you were doing, appreciated the work that you were putting into the games, and the legacy that you were creating up to that point. Yeah, but at that point also, like to like cite what you said, you're like, I'm gay, black, and a furry, everything a Republican hates. And I'm the best fucking fighting game player in the world, if I remember correct. Maybe that's a slight paraphrase, but that was basically which was like a huge moment. And I think that you're right to recognize that is the cultural touch point, that it was like, hello, like I've always been myself, but now I'm myself in front of millions.
It flipped a lot of people on their head. A lot of people got really pissed off, but even more people were like, this dude is fucking godlike. And that's what I was there for the people that supported me. And the rest, I was just like... Am I wrong? But
no, you're not wrong. But it's. But I think I remember because there were a lot of people at ESPN that like wanted to do a bigger story on you when I was working there at the time, and I remember we would send around, like, people were like, oh, what do we need to know about this person? And we would send like sort of the resume. Here's all these things that you've won. Here's all the success you have, but they're not gamers. They don't understand the complexities of what you just did. But we're like, here's this moment where this person just like went out there and was just like, screw the world. I am me, and I'm on top of my game, and I'm the best at what I do. And it was awesome. It was a great moment. But I want to talk about in the broader context of pushing that cultural boundary. There's so many things wrong with esports. Chief among them, it is not a diverse industry at all. It has a ton of issues with diversity, and I think that you saying that and living that and talking about it so openly in that way is very good for the industry in a lot of different ways. Is that something that you thought about before that moment in terms of like kind of pushing this social movement forward and kind of opening the conversation more broadly before you actually said it on that stage?
Yeah, a little bit, but I was just like, I'm just gonna say what's come to mind. But fun fact, Ed Boon's always sitting there. I was talking with Ed Boon prior, and like this is always his thing where he always wants me at almost anything to go on stage. He's like, I just want you to go up there and just say "fuck the police." Like, I don't know why he wants you to say it so much, but he does. And I was like, I got you, but I'll say I'm gay, black, and furry, and everything Republican hates. He's like, he literally gasped. Like, oh, say that, please say that. I was like, Ed Boon, I got you. If I win this award, I got you. Watch me. And then I went on stage and I said it because I won it. I was like, at first I was like, oh shit, I actually won it. And then second, I was like, you know what? Like, I promised one of my favorite like fighting game producers ever that I would like do this. So here we go.
Did you understand though in that moment what that meant?
Yes.
I'm sure you do now.
Yeah, I knew exactly what would happen if I did that, and I did it anyways because it had to be said. So.
Now, kind of all these years later, having time to reflect, building especially now that you're going more into content creation, right? And some of the things that you've been doing in downtime as we've all been separated. Is that something that is like a kind of, obviously your identity is your identity, but pushing it forward for other people, being a good example, kind of normalizing everything as well. Is that something that you think about when you're creating content, the way that you speak, the way that you write, talk, everything else, and the way that you're creating?
The way I try to present almost any content creation that I do is that I want to ultimately be being myself, and that's what I wanted to express to other people. Is that you're being authentically yourself, Like, I don't want to start doing content creation where it's just like I start acting like, for example, like they make me start doing like military like salutes or some shit like that, because that's just not me, right? Or like making me like
Yeah.
do like really just really generic shit. Like that is not me. All right. I always want to make sure that when I am doing my content, it looks like I'm having fun, because I am having fun and I'm being myself and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And I want people to learn that whenever they're doing whatever they're doing, that you make sure you're having fun with it. Sometimes, like, you have to do stuff outside the box and outside of like what you're willing to do, and I'm no different. But ultimately, like any content that I try to produce, I want to make sure I am being myself, and I think that message is being clear.
Thanks for watching Visionaries on YouTube. For more content, please subscribe to the Overcome channel.